morning, student. Welcome back to the session of network security. So, in last video, we have discussed about the basic terminology of network security, and in this video, we will discuss some encryption technique and how we are going to divide the encryption technique in different categories. So, in this video, we will discuss like that. So what are the content for this? So first we will discuss the conventional encryption model. Then we will discuss classical encryption technique and cryptanalysis. Cryptanalysis, that means how you are going to uh, analyze the encryption algorithm. Okay. So there are multiple way to define the types of cryptography. Among them, one is the way on the basis of how plain text is going to transfer into the form of ciphertext. So there are two ways. First is called as a substitution cipher, and second one is called as a transposition cipher. So actually transposition cipher and substitution cipher are actually the way in which when we are going to transfer the plain text into a corresponding ciphertext in such a way, if the information present in the ciphertext, information present in the plain text is going to substituted by something in the ciphertext, then that process is called as a substitution cipher. Example, let I have a message network. Let us assume that this is our plain text message, and we are going to uh, apply some encryption algorithm to encrypt this message to generate a ciphertext. So if we are encrypting like that, we are just substituting the value of each plain text into another value. So like that, we are going to substitute n, where n is going to be substituted as t, e is going to be substituted as let us assume that x, T is going to substitute it as A, W is going to substitute it as Z, O is going to substitute it as P, R is going to substitute it as B, and K is going to substitute it as Y. So like that, if we are going to say that each message, each information, each bit or each character of plain text is going to substituted by another character, then this process is called as substitution cipher. And second one is the transposition cipher. Transposition cipher is actually using the algorithm in such a way that they are not going to substitute information. They are going to just reassemble the information to generate a ciphertext. Let example, let us assume that I am taking a plain text as network. But in this network, we are not going to substitute n to something. We are going to reassemble this. We are going to jumble this plain text to generate a ciphertext. Like that, we are just going to first write W, then we are going to write O, then we are going to write N, then we are going to write K, then we are going to write T, and then we are going to write E, R. So in this way, if you are going to see this, in this way, each character or plain text, each character of the plain text is going to remain in the ciphertext, but position of that particular text character are different. So this type of technique is called as a transposition cipher. Actually, we are changing the position of each character from the plain text. So this process is called as transposition cipher. There are different algorithm who are using the substitution cipher, and there are different algorithm who are using the transposition cipher. Example, let us assume that we are going to take some example like that. One algorithm named as Caesar cipher. This is the example of substitution cipher. Monoalphabetic cipher, Playfair cipher, and polyalphabetic cipher. These four are the example of substitution cipher. And for transposition cipher, relevance cipher, simple columnar cipher. These two techniques are actually using the transposition cipher. But one technique named as Vernam cipher that is also using uh, transposition cipher. But in some case, Vernam cipher are using substitution cipher also. So in these three cases are using transposition cipher. Okay, so there are another way to define the encryption algorithm or categorize the encryption algorithm. What are that? First one is symmetric cryptography and second one is asymmetric cryptography. Symmetric cryptography is like that. If you are going to apply an algorithm for a cryptography in such a way that key for the encryption and decryption are same. If you are going to use same key for encryption and decryption, then that algorithm is called as symmetric cryptography. But if we have a pair of key, in that pair of key, one part is going to use for the encryption and second part of the key is going to use for the decryption. But technically is when we are going to see that technically, we are going to encrypt the message with a particular key and we are going to decrypt that message with a different key. That algorithm is called as asymmetric. Obviously, these two keys are related to each other, but that is not going to the same. That may be related to each other, but both the key are different. It is called as a public key and private key. So when we are going to encrypt the particular message with the help of key is called as public key, and when we are going to decrypt that message, that time we are going to use the private key. So symmetric key and asymmetric key cryptography are like that when we are going to use the encryption algorithm in such a way that key for the encryption and decryption are same, that it is called as symmetric key cryptography. And if key for the encryption and decryption are different, where we can say that there are pair of key. In that pair, one is going to use for the encryption and second one is going to use for the decryption. That algorithm is called as asymmetric key cryptography. Both have its own pros and cons. Like when we are going to use symmetric key cryptography, so key distribution is the main challenge in that. And if you're going to use asymmetric key cryptography, then computation is going to main challenge for that. So both techniques have its own pros and cons. Okay, so this is the actual processing of asymmetric key cryptography. Uh, it is going to use single key for both encryption and decryption, and both the party should know the key. That means sender or receiver, sender and receiver, both the party is going to know the key, actual key, that is called as secret key. Secret key, both the parties is going to know that secret key, and with the help of that secret key, encryption is going to be done, or we can say that sender is going to encrypt the message with the same secret key, and receiver is going to decrypt the message with that same secret key. Then this key is going to be used, same key is going to be used for encryption and decryption. So this technique is called as symmetric key cryptography. So in symmetric key cryptography, we are going to use same key that is called as secret key for encryption and decryption. And for asymmetric key cryptography, so in asymmetric key cryptography, public key and private key, we have two type of key. So public key is going to use for the encryption and private key is going to use for the decryption. So plain text is going to encrypted in the form of ciphertext with the help of this public key. Or when receiver is going to decrypt that message, that time he is going to use the private key of that particular person. So it is going to have two key, public key and protected public key and a private key, and these key are going to use for encryption and decryption respectively. So public key is going to use for encryption and private key is going to use for decryption. Next, we will discuss cryptanalysis. What is cryptanalysis? Cryptanalysis is not going to just deal to recover the key or recover the plain text message. Basically, we deal about the what are the different perspective to uh, retrieve the message without key, or how some person or some middleman can hack our information or can see our data. So that is the main challenge in cryptography. We have to see the crypto analysis of that particular algorithm that which we are going to use. So in this section, we will discuss some basic crypto analysis attack, and one of the attack is called as brute force attack. So in this video, we are going to discuss these two components. So these are some types of cryptographic or cryptanalytic attacks. First one is ciphertext only. So when algorithm is like that, when hacker is going to actually find the going to find the only algorithm in ciphertext, then that type of attack is called as ciphertext only attack. When he is going to know the plain text or ciphertext pair, so that type of attack is called as a plain text attack. Chosen plain text, that means chosen plain text attack is like that. We are going to select a plain text and going to obtain a ciphertext for particular that. Chosen ciphertext, so we are going to select the ciphertext to obtain the plain text, then that attack is called as chosen ciphertext attack. Chosen text attack, so chosen text attack is we are going to either select the plain text or ciphertext, or we can say that either we are going to hack the plain text or ciphertext, then that type of attack is called as a chosen text attack. So these are basic types of crypto analytics attack. Next is brute force attack. Brute force search. Basically, this is a searching technique, not attack. This is a searching technique. Searching technique to find the actual information. Why is it called as searching technique? It is basically called. It is basically finding of a actual message, actual plain text through a hacked ciphertext, or we can say that someone have theft the someone have taken the ciphertext from the channel and he want to know the plain text. So how he is going to search the plain text? That is a technique is called as brute force attack or a brute force search. Basically, it is a way to checking all possible values, and then he is going to find the original solution. So that technique is called as brute force search or brute force technique or brute force attack. Let example, we are going to encrypt a particular message with the help of key, and we got the ciphertext. If we know the key, then we can detect the we can find the plain text. So how we are going to find the key? We are going to apply all possible key on that particular ciphertext. Obviously, it is going to open by someone of some key or any key, because if you are going to apply all possible key, definitely it is going to be opened by its original key. Let us assume that we have a key of length 5. So there are fixed number of key whose length is going to be 5, and we are going to apply all possible combination of key for decrypting that particular message. Definitely person is going to detect the original message. So this type of technique is called as brute force attack or brute force search. So these are the this is the table. In this table, I have written actual key size in the form of bit and how much time it take to apply the brute force attack. Just example, if I have taken a key of 32 bit, if I have taken a key of 32 bit, that means there are possible 32 uh, there are possible 2 to the power 32 number of alternate key. 2 to the power 32, that is nearly equal to 10 to the power 9. So we have nearly equal to 10 to the power 9 different type of key, and if you are going to apply all the key on that particular ciphertext, definitely anyone is going to open that particular plain text. So what are the time requirement for that particular algorithm for brute force such attack? So let us assume that uh, I have a system who is going to process the information in microsecond. That means in 1 second we are going to process 10 to the power 6 number of instruction. So let example, our system is going to take 1 microsecond to decrypt one to apply one algorithm. So we have to check for all 10 to the power 9 different possible keys. So it will take approx 2 to the power 32 microsecond, or nearly equal to 35 minutes. So that means this algorithm is going to uh, find the actual solution or actual plain text by applying brute force attack in just 35 minutes. Just 35 minutes, he is going to find the solution. Or let example, I have a system who is going to execute 10 to the power 6 encryption in 1 microsecond. So at that time, our system is going to detect the actual message in only 2 milliseconds. So if we have taken the key size of 32. Similarly, if a particular person is going to, if particular person is taken a key of 128 bit, so if you are going to apply the brute force search algorithm, so that time it required approx 5.4 into 10 to the power 18 year to find the actual solution through the brute force attack. When your system is using a particular processor which is going to process the 10 to the power 6 number of encryption per second, per microsecond. So this is the actual table. This is a table to check when brute force attack or brute force search is going to useful for us. So that's all in this video. Uh, Thank you. In next video, we will discuss some more cryptographic technique or cryptographic algorithm. Okay, thanks.